Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube messiah and often imitated, never duplicated superstar, Tim Vicious. And we are talking about Raw. This week it was in the O2 Arena in the UK. UK crowds, hands down, one of the best crowds on the planet as far as what pro wrestling goes, period. The UK crowds, they are just some of the most honest crowds out there. Not saying all the time, but sometimes the WWE UK crowds, they tend to try and get themselves over a little bit. Case in point, the past one or two Mania crowds, you know, a little bit of a pet peeve on that one, but it's neither here nor there. Point is, UK crowds, hands down, one of the best out there in the entire world. I wish I could say that the crowds from my beloved hometown of Philadelphia is up there with them. Not really so much, but we will put up a good fight. I will give you that. Now, on with this week's Raw. It started out with Cena. He came out, cut a promo, talking about on how he's thrown out the open challenge to everyone, and so far Rusev has chosen to not accept the challenge, but instead to go and fight at Extreme Rules. So he's going to keep his open challenges out to anyone who wants it. So, and he did his infamous, "You want some, come get some" hoopla. And who came out? Bad News Barrett. Now, it was reported earlier within the week that I believe it was Saturday or even Sunday before this Raw that Barrett wound up announcing he was going to retire at a house show. I wound up reading it on some of the dirt sheets. Rule of thumb, never believe the dirt sheets 100%, but man, was I glad he came out to help prove that rumor wrong. And Barrett came out, you know, the crowd cheered for him like you'd have thought he was like he was the fucking second coming of Jesus. You know? It's always good to see always good to see a boy from your own country get good applause like that and get a good pop. He came out, said, "Why should I?" You got a point, John. Much like Rusev shouldn't have to wait, I shouldn't have to wait until Extreme Rules to get my Intercontinental rematch from Daniel Bryan, so I'll just fight you. And proceeded to go in, and they had a hell of a match. It was beautiful, beautiful starter match. Absolutely loved it. It was really beautiful, really good. I thought it was good. And that's saying something, you know. I don't normally say something nice in regards to Cuck Fiend. John Cena. Thought I had this thing taken care of. Damn. Always winds up catching up with me sooner or later, right? Oh well. Back to the matter at hand. This match, it was just straight up physical, and man, wouldn't say brutal, but it was physical. There was very little pause in between the moves, but man, these guys went at it and went to town. You know, and obviously Cena did the ever infamous kick out at 2 when Barrett hit the wasteland, but in a surprise turn of events, Barrett wound up kicking out at 2 when Cena hit the AA, which now leads me to believe Barrett either stole Cena's kick out at 2 powers, or they're trying to slowly phase out the whole AA maneuver. Yeah, and it's also the fact that Cena's now gone about 3 weeks or so without having somebody submit and tap out to the STF. You know. Now, obviously we knew on who was going to win, but the fact that the beauty on this match, more so than anything, was the fact that it's like what I said pre-WrestleMania. Cena wins the title. He's elevating it. He's elevating this title by putting it out there and making a challenge each week. Obviously, we know the challenger isn't going to win. But the fact is, and this is saying something considering I shit on the guy all the time, he's putting it out there, and not only is he making that person look like they're hungry and they want that title, but he's also making them look good doing it. And he's giving that title a reputation again, you know? So this is something that's really good, and I really am looking, I like this, you know? I mean, I thought this was really good on it, but match wound up coming to an end. Cena wound up hitting that springboard stunner again, which now, like I said last week, he's now up to 7 moves. Instead of having the 5 moves of Doom, he now has the 7 moves of Doom. So, yeah. Now, next matchup, it was, so, Cena wound up getting a win with the springboard stunner, got the 1, 2, 3. So, yeah. Now, actually, before I move on to the next match, do want to bring up, sorry, producers are trying to rush me through. Yeah, for some, seriously, guys, why are you trying to rush through? We own the studio. It's not like we're on a time budget or anything. We are. But we own the studio. You know what? Let's not do this argument now on air. Sorry about that, folks. After the match, my beautiful, lovely ex-wife, who will divorce me for some odd reason, Lana, wound up coming out and wound up cutting a promo talking about on what the stipulation for Rusev's rematch at Extreme Rules is going to be. And next thing you know, Rusev, wham, came right out of nowhere, bashed Cena in the back with a chain, and then said it was going to be a Russian chain match. So, whoo, we got ourselves a chain match now. Which case, I'm kind of worried on that because obviously it's the match I'm thinking of was a little different, especially given the era, but last kind of chain match I watched in regards with something like that was Rowdy Piper doing a chain match. I believe it was with Greg Valentine, not 100% certain. Darren, I know you watch this show, so if I'm wrong, please by all means feel free to tell me. If I'm right, thank you. But, you know, and Piper busted his eardrum to where this day he still has hearing issues in that ear because of it, you know? But yeah, that was the first thing I went to. My mind went to when I first heard that. All I'm thinking is, okay, yeah, wow. Now we're actually taking the name of the pay-per-view legitimately serious instead of just saying it's an Extreme Rules, you know? But yeah, after that, next match now. Are you happy now? Alright, good. Hey, don't you go eating that donut. Sorry, that producer, he's on a diet. Next matchup, Divas Battle Royal that got hyped up last week, and it's normally hard to call Battle Royals, but this one, it felt so sloppy. And a big pet peeve that I had was the Bellas were on commentary, and anytime the Bellas are ever on commentary, they just sound so freaking monotone. You would swear they're either ordering a sandwich from Subway or they're practicing to be a phone sex operator. You know? It's, horrible. Now, I wasn't a big fan of the Battle Royal. What really made me lose interest on this, and Natty. She wound up getting one of the girls. I don't remember what one. I think it was Summer or whoever, one of them. She got one of them outside on the apron. She climbed out of the ropes to go and proceed to start wailing on them. And then another girl, I think it was Rosa, did a running drop kick onto both of them. Okay, when in Natty's career has she ever, and I mean ever, shown that sign of stupidity to do something like that, given it was a battle royal? That is what made me seriously lose interest in it. You know, what made me die laughing in it was the weird warped sense of humor I have, because Naomi wound up doing that ass slam finisher she has to Cameron and Alicia Fox. Both of them, like, they were going like this and then just wham, hit them both, and all I thought was, damn, that girl's got a big old ass if she can hit them both in the face with it. But yeah, they both got eliminated, and then it was down to Paige and Naomi, and not gonna lie, I thought Naomi was gonna win. I was wrong, Paige won, but given on how Naomi's been getting booked lately, it was safe bet was Naomi. Paige, she got the win. You'd have thought the roof came off the damn building. Next thing you know, they come back from a commercial. They're doing an interview with her, and she's talking about on how she used to wrestle, just making about maybe 5 pounds a night, wrestling in carnivals, gymnasiums, all of that. And then next thing you know, Naomi just came out and just went straight up batshit crazy and wham, just started beating on her to no end, and then walked out. Later on in the show, they went to go and do an interview with her, ask her on how she was. She was like, you know, I've been thinking about my actions. I don't really feel all that good about what I did. Who am I kidding? You know, so, yep, she went heel. And so here's to hoping that this is a half-decent heel turn. So, yeah. Next matchup after that, Lucha Dragons versus the Ascension, and this was a good NXT match. This was good for an NXT fix. You know, and the only downside I can really say about this match was it wasn't the NXT Ascension, it was the main roster Ascension. You know, I mean, if we'd have had the NXT Ascension going up against the Lucha Dragons, it would have been a better match. But yeah, it was good. I absolutely loved it. Kalisto, he was hitting his moves good and solid. You know, Kalisto, they're really gearing him up and really building him good to help fill in the void for Rey now that they don't have a dominant luchador, you know, because let's face facts, the company's not stupid. They're going to go and have specific target wrestlers for specific genders, races, and etc., etc. So they're going to obviously need a good, strong Latino wrestler. They can't rely on Sin Cara because Masked Mark, even though you're an asshole and a piece of shit, you did hit the nail on the forehead on the War Paint and Mask show, saying that the Sin Cara mask is cursed, you know. But Kalisto is still, the Kalisto character is still relatively young in the company, so there's hope, you know. But yeah, on with the match. This was a good solid Monday night tag match. Wouldn't say it was pay-per-view quality because it wasn't, but it was a good solid Monday night one. Wasn't a time filler. Didn't give that time filler kind of vibe to me. It had a good Monday night feel, which, you know, again, as a tag team guy, that is what I want in a tag team match. Now the match came to an end. Match wound up coming to an end. Kalisto wound up hitting the SDS, and then Sin Cara wound up doing the senton, and then got the 1, 2, 3. So they're good. Yeah, I don't know about anyone else. if they're going to keep going at this rate with the Lucha Dragons, maybe within the next 2-3 months, they're going to get a title shot, and even yet possibly within the next 3, maybe 4 months, possibly put the straps on them. I think that could work for them, you know? Now, next matchup, it was Randy Orton versus my boy, my favorite guy in the company right now, Cesaro. And before we get into the match, there is a stipulation. They did wind up saying that Randy Orton and Seth Rollins do both have matches tonight, and that if either man wins, they both get to pick the stipulation for their match at Extreme Rules. So Randy has that going for him. He has to win so that way he can pick his stipulation for his match with Seth Rollins. Now the match, it started out at a fairly decent pace. What wound up getting me was Randy wound up getting on the outside. Tyson blatantly interfered and kicked Randy. Next thing you know, ref called for the bell, hit a DQ. Kane came out and said, in the spirit of fairness and for what's best for business, and keep in mind I'm just paraphrasing, so don't go saying Kane didn't say all of that. We're going to now make this a 2-on-1 handicap match. Now, big pet peeve, and my boy Chad B-Rot over at the TRN Talking Wrestling Network hit the nail on the forehead good with this. You got the tag team champions going in a 2-on-1 handicap match against one man. So if and when they lose, it's not going to make them look good one bit. And aside from that, with handicap matches in general, the only way that making a handicap match, look good really is to make the other guys really seem stupid, like you're throwing this guy into the other guy and having this guy punch the other guy, like that. But sadly, it wasn't done that way for him. But Randy wound up hitting an RKO on the Tyson Kid when Kid went to go do a top rope springboard on him. Got the 1-2-3, so Randy's now able to pick a stipulation. Get to that at the end of the show. So, next matchup, we get Stardust versus Doofenshmirtz? No. Jingle Jingle Jangle? No, that's not it. Where's he been for the past God knows how long? I think that's it, yeah. And, well, I honestly, I can't even really say this was a match just because of, honestly, I can't even really say this was a match because Stardust just wound up getting a quick win, 1-2-3 with a disaster kick. And then next thing you know, after that, Fandango just dumps Rosa, and then says, I need to share my dance, not with her, but with all of you, and then starts doing the Fandangoing again. Which, so disappointing on so many levels. Oh, and of course, another shit match that wound up happening way too quick. Adam Rose versus Dean Ambrose, which, hey, don't get me wrong, it was a half-decent match, but it was a little too short for my taste. It went way too quick in my book, They could have worked it, and they had the opportunity to build Rose up to go and just say, that's it, I'm not doing this partying stuff no more. I'm not Adam Rose anymore. You can call me Leo Kruger and actually give him a half-decent character. But that ship sailed long ago, and now he's not even hanging out with Cesaro and Kid like he was before. Now he's floating around working matches on Superstars, which is pretty much like WWE limbo, you know? So, but obviously in that match, Ambrose won, got the 1, 2, 3, and then went off. Then they wound up getting that Stardust match. Sorry about that. And seriously, Ed, we're going to have a talk because, you know, you're supposed to have my cards ready in the proper order, man. You're supposed to have my notes ready in the proper order. If anyone knows where I can find a good producer, please let me know. So, yeah. Next matchup, it's Seth's match for his stipulation. Now, he was originally booked to have it... They were originally booked to have it be Seth versus Dolph Ziggler, but earlier they had a promo where Seth was saying, no. Listen, I have no problem going against Dolph Ziggler, but we need to do what's best for business, and the Authority knows what's best for business. So, we need somebody who's willing to go and do the job. So, why don't you have me versus Jamie Noble? Which case, my first thought was, you're going to have the WWE Champion go against the Authority's secret weapon? I still can't keep a straight face thinking that. Oh my god. Oh, the Authority's secret weapon. Oh. Whew, I'm sorry. I still crack up over that. The Authority's secret weapon. Oh, man. Oh, I love me some Jamie Noble. But yeah. Then wound up, and then Noble said, why not have it be Kane? And then Seth was like, it's a good point. You got us in this mess, Kane. Why don't you go and do the job and let me just pin you? And you know, over the course of, from the time they did that promo up until this time, had people saying, trying to sway him, saying, do the job! Don't do the job! Do what's best for business! What happened to the Kane we used to know? You know, and Kane came out, he was in a full suit, and then next thing you know, just Seth's there, geared up like, alright, come on. And then next thing you know, Kane's just like, takes off the suit jacket, gets off his shirt, and then just goes and stands there and looks at him like he's like, motherfucker, give me one reason. And then Seth's just yelling at him, come on, lay down, lay down. Now this was if you couldn't tell that this was an obvious knock at the finger poke of doom. Seriously, this was just wrong. I mean, the only thing that was missing was Seth doing, you know? And it really would have been. Which, hey, if we could go back in time and rewind the clock to when, you know, during the whole invasion angle, with the first title change, going from a WCW guy to a WWE guy, you know, that would have made sense. Just so that way you can go and piss in Ted Turner's face right then and there, but, you know, now it's just like, seriously? But yeah. Next thing you know, he's like, come on, lay down. Lay down. So for those that did not watch, I just want you to picture, I hope you have a very vivid imagination for on how I'm about to describe this to you. Seth Rollins had Kane take off his suit jacket, remove his tie and take off his shirt, and then ordered him to lay down while pointing like this. In the immortal words of Tommy Dreamer, it's not gay, it's professional wrestling. And then Seth laid on top of him. Yeah, there's no way to save this from an inappropriate joke. So, yeah, let's just keep moving forward. Ref went to go do the count, and Kane tossed him off. Next thing you know, J&J came in, and Kane was just like, you know what? Grrr, boom, threw them out. And just uppercutted Seth, and then Seth was just like, alright, come on, Kane, just lay down. And then Kane chokeslammed Seth, and then just was like, and then proceeded to lay down and throw Seth's arm on top of him. And what the hell was that I just saw? Seriously? I mean, I'm not asking for Kane to get a face turn, but seriously, that would have been perfect for him right then and there. Go face, go against the Authority, and then next thing you know, take a page out of your own book, WWE. Go back, like when Mick Foley was commissioner. Before he resigned from being commissioner, he put certain papers in order saying that he would have certain authority on being able to do certain things, and have Kane do something like that, so that way, he could go and be that monkey wrench to go and be like, hey, you guys wanted to do this, but you know what? You see, remember when I was COO? Yeah, I put one of these things in order so that way you guys can't, so fuck you! Would have been nice. It would have worked. I think it could have. But instead we got this. So next matchup we got the Ball Bag Miz versus Mizdow, and and I never thought I would hear myself say this, but I actually had to agree with JBL on something. Yeah, I just agreed with JBL. So do you guys see like four guys riding horses around anywhere? But yeah, JBL wound up saying, he's Damian Sandow, not Mizdow, just drop that name and bit altogether. It would be nice. But yeah, Mizdow came out, and then before the match even started, him and Miz were like going toe for toe with like who can do this move the better, like doing the glasses taken off and the rope thing. And just as Mizdow was taking off his robe, Miz threw his at him, and then just started swinging, and then they just started going at it. This was also a pretty half-decent match. Didn't really feel like a time filler like the past couple matches were, but it felt good. Next thing you know, Mizdow starts getting the upper hand, and then Mizdow winds up getting the win using a roll-up. Not really a fan of doing roll-ups for wins. I mean, just as a random way of getting a win. I mean, if the opponent is winded, and you want someone to have a quick cheap win, yeah, that works. But yeah, you don't want to be like that you don't want to be that roll-up guy that's just known for doing that. But yeah, Mizdow won. Next thing you know, he goes over to the fans like, lets the fans all go nuts and try and fondle him and such. And next thing you know, not only was this something else that wound up pissing me off to no utter end, it also wound up having my least favorite guy on the roster, good old Skippy. Yeah, Ryroyd versus Harper, and honestly, the most that we got out of this match really was Harper wound up hitting a super kick, and then picked up that little black flap on the table and then slammed Ryroyd's face in it. And yeah, like I said before, my hatred for Ryback is like that compared to on how the Mask Mark feels about Gunner from TNA. And you don't believe me? Go and look at if you want a good comparison, Go and look at TNA. Go and look at Ollie and Mark's TNA turnaround and see some of the stuff that he has said about Gunner. That explains it all. But yeah, he starts doing that. Next thing you know, Ambrose comes down and goes and attacks Harper. Harper winds up running out through the crowd. So it looks like we're going to get a match between them two at Extreme Rules. If we're lucky, that's going to be the quote-unquote Extreme Rules match. And that one's going to wind up being, so that'll, like, the no DQ match. So here's the hoping on that. Yeah, so next up, main event of the night. Technically, this was the main event match of the night. Dolph Ziggler versus we don't know who. Who could it be? Who could it be that could make a very excellent match with Ziggler? Why, who else? The newest recruit on the main roster, Neville. Adrian Neville wound up getting a match with Ziggler. Holy shit, was this match good. This was the match of the night. Absolutely loved it. It was great. Best spot of the night, and I know everyone is talking about this. Adrian wound up doing a top rope moonsault to the outside onto Ziggler. Ziggler's laying on the ground. Neville goes back into the ring on one end, goes at the other, and then gets on the security rail, tightrope walks over to it, and then goes and proceeds to do a 450 splash right onto Ziggler, right outside. That was freaking awesome. That was the coolest thing out of that entire match, which is saying something because that match was beautiful in and of itself. And man, I absolutely loved it. Ziggler wound up getting the win though. Neville went up to go hit the red arrow, landed on his feet. Next thing you know, Ziggler moved. Neville hit the corner, and then Ziggler, wham, hit the zigzag, got the 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, it's nice seeing Ziggler win, but Neville, he needs a win also. He came out looking good and looking pretty strong, but he still needs a win. So now he's basically like, I think, 1-3 or 1-2 on the main roster. And that's saying something considering that he's the longest reigning NXT champion. And if my history is up to date, I believe he's also the only man from NXT to hold the NXT tag title and the NXT title. But after the match, Ziggler went over to him. It's like, hey kid, come on kid, get up. Next thing you know, Ziggler turns around, wham, Sheamus. Winds up hitting them, and them two start brawling. Sheamus just broke, and then Sheamus just proceeds to beat the snot out of him. And man, I don't like the whole, mohawk thing Sheamus has. He looks like it looks like a really bad Terry Taylor haircut from back in the day when he was the Red Rooster. He just needs a blonde mullet. But that aside, I'm definitely digging the hell out of this new Sheamus. Doing good, really doing good. Hoping that we see more out of this later on. So now we come to the closing segment of the night, where it's Seth's stipulation and Randy's stipulation, since they both won. So Seth comes in like a boss, sits down on a leather recliner, pops it back, just and then Randy comes out just standing there like, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but if you want extreme decisions like they were trying to have go trending, man, I was hoping for like something crazy, because I definitely dig the weird, crazy, odd stuff that most people would be like, dude, what the fuck? That's just wrong and stupid, I mean, I was hoping for either a Pujai prison match with special guest, the Great Khali, our special guest referee, Great Khali. Because just imagine him trying to count to 3. You know? Or, you know, have a Kennel from Hell match. Because that would have definitely been fun to see. But, sadly, no. Instead, we got PG stipulations. So sad. So sad. Seth's stipulation was he wants the RKO banned from the match. Which, okay, well and good. And Randy's stipulation is the Authority is banned, or the Authority is not going to be able to assist Seth because it will be a steel cage match. And yeah. Not a big fan of either of those. I mean, a steel cage, obviously, that one, a steel cage match, it's more set for a heel to win because, you know, they got to cheat and they got to go and use the cage, you know, try and grind the opponent's face like chalk on the sidewalk, you know, things like that. But it's just, I mean, I don't know. You could have picked they could have done a lot better for a stipulation, you know. But yeah. So after that, they're like, so Randy was like, so we're in agreement, right? Yeah, we are. All right, good. Because if my RKO's banned, I'm getting my money's worth. Lifts the recliner and then starts going swinging at Noble and Mercury. Grabs Seth, tosses him out, and then proceeds to start beating them up. Hits an RKO on Mercury, and then just goes and stands in the ring, triumphant, like, come on, I dare you, come on. And then Seth does the heel move, and it's just like, nah, you know what? Not worth it. And then just walks off. So, you know, that's it. End of the show. So, all in all, it was pretty decent, especially given that it was a UK crowd. I give this Raw a 4 out of 10. Would have gotten a 4.5 had they not had so many matches that were burners, basically. You know? So, folks, like on normal, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at Tim Vicious. Make sure y'all also look for my backup account, Tim_Vicious. Also, I keep forgetting to mention this, I'm on that whole Facebook gimmick under the name Tim Ash. And also, do not forget to click the link on down below for the Spring for Sid's group, Shannon's Butterflies. Any kind of donations are appreciated, and if you cannot donate, please share the link with somebody who you think can. And as well as make sure you follow all of these cool ass cats right here on Twitter. Vicky Earls, make sure y'all check out Vicky's podcast, The Celtic Commodity. I am Danny Sunday, Mucky Morris, Axel Mulligan. Make sure you check out his new show. My brother is back with the SmackDown Breakdown. Sunday Segue, Sinfully Sabrina, Cranky Grandpa, Legion Lady Aaron, Oliver Ben, and Just a Stupid Mark, as well as my client, who, as I have said before and I will always say, is the true Raw General Manager, Bronx Bitch forever. And, folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me, great, you hate me. Fuck yous.